Okay, so I decided uh, to predict the future, and it's predicting what's going to happen here in the near future. So folks can plan ahead and know what to expect and stuff like that. And now this is all the obvious stuff. Um, I haven't seen anything about it, but I figured I'd just say it and put it out there because I also I want to be good for something. So predicting the future, the near future, whatever. Uh, Sounds crazy, but uh, something that I can do. So, where to start? So, right now we have automobiles, and it is what it is. Everybody knows where we're at right now with technology and stuff. And so, when the flying vehicle, and everybody's going to laugh and think I'm crazy, but literally, it's right around the corner. We're right around the corner from it when we start having flying vehicles. Uh, it's okay to get excited about it because it's going to happen real soon. Um, so some things that are going to happen to make that happen. Um, I'm a little nervous talking about this. I don't even know why. I'm here completely alone. Okay, so most likely, uh, most likely it's going to start out with the drone delivery thing. Now, the current problems with the drone delivery thing are safety issues with the vehicle itself. You know, flight distances, and now we have our regular airplanes and helicopters, and they have to follow a certain code when they are flying, and they have uh, radars and sensors, and they have to be in communication with all other air traffic. They have to have some sort of flight plan of where they're going to be. Passenger airplanes have to fly above a certain altitude, and then you have crop dusters and all kinds of stuff that can fly lower. Uh, and then you have even some pilots that just want to do low flybys. Okay, now most of that's probably gonna have to stop once drone delivery starts. And what is drone delivery? You can get your Amazon packages, you can get packages from McDonald's delivered right to your home. Now, this is going to be easy for people who have a yard or live out in the suburbs, and uh, so so getting deliveries to those places will be the easiest thing to do. So, as far as if you live in a city, what's going to happen is they're going to have to build, they, we, us, are going to have to design rules for how and where to fly these things in the city. I mean, we have helicopters that run around right now and can land on roofs and stuff. So a lot of the delivery is going to take place up high. You know, getting packages down to street level, there'll be a lot of specific regulations regarding the ability to do that. And really, we should start talking about it now, how to design these systems. One idea I had was to have the package, you know, you have your drone that can hover, and then have your package lowered by a cable, you know. Uh, this keeps the um, drone away from the ground, and uh, the air disbursement, because it's going to be pushing a lot of air around. It'll keep that generally at a distance. So a cable system might work for delivering packages like that. But really, when you're looking at how these drones are going to work, you have to look at this air that's above us and the traffic that's going to be in the air. So right now we have highways, okay, and we have rules for uh, driving our vehicles on the roadways. We have stoplights, we have stop signs, we have yield signs. So all that's going to need to take place above us. Designing rules on how to make this acceptable. You know, what's acceptable, uh, stuff like that. Now, we're getting into a stage where we can program our machines like some of us have those self-driving cars. Some of us that don't have those self-driving cars have like adaptive cruise control. Okay, now what adaptive cruise control is, for those of you who don't have it, adaptive cruise control is cruise control. Right? You turn it on, you set it, but it knows how far the vehicle out in front of you is. So it will apply its own brakes. Literally, you do not have to have your foot on a brake or the gas pedal. So with the adaptive cruise control, it sees a car and you can set the distance, how close to that car you want to be, how far back you want to be. It makes for a more comfortable driving experience. But you don't have to have your foot on the brake or on the gas. When your car comes and it sees another car in front of it, it will slow itself down and follow that car at a certain distance. Okay, and then if that car speeds back up, you don't have to do anything. You could be sitting Indian style. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could be sitting Indian style, and the car will speed back up. It won't get closer to the car in front of you, but it'll maintain that distance. So we already have these. We've already the people that made that adaptive cruise control, man, they're excellent. Because if you know anything about programming, the amount of thought that had to go in and to making that, it's a lot of work, and kudos to those people who have done it, who have made that program. So anyway, my whole point about this is getting to, so you have your drone vehicles, your delivery vehicles that are flying around, okay? So they will all have these sensors on them, and a lot of the figuring can be done to, all right, well, there's another one here, so, you know, they got to stay a certain distance, so they'll have their own parameters on how, and those parameters will be within the regulations required, you know. So I seem to be getting way off topic here, but the rules, you know, the basic set of rules for designing the flight patterns for these drones will be in place, and that'll be imprinted in the code. Okay, then the drone itself will have that ability to recognize that there's other stuff in the area. Okay, so each one of these things is going to have its own, let's call it a black box, because its own really healthy computer system, navigational system, whatever you want to call it. It's got to know where it's at, and it's also got to know what else is in the area. Now, it's real easy when you're dealing with other drones, okay? You know, they can communicate, and I say communicate. This drone will know that this drone is here simply by the mechanics and machinery that are in it, Okay. But now let's talk about birds. You know, birds don't follow those rules. Birds do whatever they want. So these systems will have to recognize that, oh, hey, there's a bird coming towards me. I need to do this to avoid incident with the bird. Okay. So this is the kind of uh, software development and hardware development that's going to have to go into each of these drones. And now it seems like a lot, but you know the good thing is all that is already available. It's already available. It'll be expensive at first, but it is already out there. Literally, it is out there now. It's just going to take someone to put these things together, and we'll have it. And that's why I say that this flying vehicle thing is just right around the corner. We're on top of it. Because all the mechanical ability and the computer brains that are needed to process this stuff, it's already all out there and available. It's out there now today. We see it. It's out there. Okay, so somebody puts all this together, and then the drone delivery becomes a reality. Soon after, it's going to be, well, we have a drone that can carry 800 pounds to deliver literally to deliver a sofa to your house, so somebody will be like, well, I want one, I want to get in the thing and I want to go somewhere. So the vehicle is going to be soon after the delivery thing is proved. Like I said, this is right around the corner. Like, this could be within the next 2-3 years. We're right on top of it. So it opens up a whole world of new stuff. And in order to help make the transition, so we can look back at when the first vehicles started getting produced. The super wealthy would get them, and yeah, they're awesome. And back then they only had like pathways and horse trails and stuff. Now all of a sudden you got vehicle riding that would drive down these horse trails and walking paths, because they didn't have motorized vehicles, maybe even bike paths. So the roadway was developed, macadam and concrete and smooth surfaces. The roadway was developed to make for smoother and safer traveling by vehicle. Okay, and the geniuses and the really smart people of the past figured out how to make the vehicle more affordable so everybody could have one. Try and bring the cost down and work to bring the cost down of the vehicles. So it wasn't just a super rich product, which is great, because if you look around today, a vehicle, and I'm speaking as if I am broker than broke. A vehicle is expensive, yeah, and some of us probably can't afford a new one. But we might be able to get our hands on a used one. We'll probably get a used one. But that's within our grasp today. It's within our grasp. At least in America it is. Now, I can't speak for other countries. I have no idea. In America, it's within our grasp. Um, so as far as when these aerial vehicles start becoming available, you'll have the super rich. You'll have wealthy people being able to afford them. And companies will be just fighting to find a way to make them more affordable because they want more people in them. They want everybody to have one. So there's going to be a big boom in manufacturing to produce these things. A big boom in manufacturing. Okay, so that's vehicles. Now we can get into what's going to happen when these vehicles start becoming available and how we, the consumer, are going to be able to do it. So it'll be like taking a driving test. You know, when you're at that age, when you're ready to get your driver's license, and your parents or your friends, they take you out and teach you how to drive. You learn the regulations, and then you study the regulations in the book, and you have to know what a stop sign means, and you have to know what a red light means, and you have to know what a yield sign means, and you have to know that when that stop thing and the red lights are flashing on a bus, that you stop for a bus. So there'll be guidelines like that that are created for these flying vehicles, and you'll have to go and get your training to fly them, and the rules are going to be different somewhat. Some of the things are going to be a little different, but it'll essentially be the same thing. So for me, now this gets into the bigger picture. This gets more into the worldwide thing. Because for me, if I had one, I'd be like, I'm in the eastern U.S. I'd be like, you know what? I wanna go to Hollywood today. I can be there in 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. So I get in my vehicle and I go to Hollywood. Well, that's all fine and dandy as long as I stay within the continental U.S. Okay? So the big thing is crossing borders. Now, here we get into passports and the legal requirements to cross borders legally. Legal requirements to cross borders legally. I've said it twice, but it makes sense, I think. Anyway, so now I decide, okay, so I went to California, I did my thing in Hollywood, I ate at that whatever place it was that I wanted to eat at, and I'm back now. Well, now, it's the next day, and I'm like, you know what, I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Paris. It's going to cost me, so much money to get this thing in the air. I knew it cost me like $300 to go to California yesterday. Now, obviously, you might not be able to afford to make a trip like this every day. So, just for gracious sake, let's say I wait a month, and now I want to go to Paris. Okay, so I know I know my mileage that I can get out of the either battery or gas powered motor that I'm using in my aerial vehicle. It's going to cost me so much to go so many miles. I know, blah blah blah. You know, if it's $500 or whatever, and then I got to eat when I get there and come back. So it's not me going to some airline and uh, waiting in line, getting on a passenger deck, going to the airport. All that's eliminated. So it sounds, like I said, this all sounds crazy, but really we're on top of it, and that's what this is all about. Is we are sitting on top of the ability that we already have available to start making these things happen. Um, put some deodorant on because I'm in a way here. I'm gonna do this. So I was talking about the passport thing. Now, obviously, right away, you know, there's going to be countries that we're allowed to go to, countries that we aren't, and enforcement. Okay, so if you try to go to a country where you're not allowed to be, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go there, you're not going to be able to. Okay, um, so this is a tricky. It's tricky, but not impossible. And I'm not talking about illegally going into a country. I'm talking about creating the requirements for owning an aerial vehicle. Okay, you either follow the rules or you pay the consequences. And now we know what the consequences are when we try to go somewhere illegally. Okay, we know that we can get arrested. We know that we could pay fines. We know that we could spend time in prison if we break these rules. We know that. We that's already in place. It's already a thing. So if you're not allowed to go to a certain country, you don't go there. And you know the other thing about that is if that country doesn't want you there and you go anyway, they're gonna enforce their rules on you. And since you broke the law, you're gonna have to deal with whatever happens. So there's that. Um, and it's a you know for the rest of us who aren't breaking the law, it's like a comfort thing. You know, where can I go? Where can I land this thing? Uh, should my aerial vehicle also have the ability to drive on a road? So when I do get to a place that's an acceptable landing area, I can get on the road then in my vehicle because it's not only an aerial vehicle, it also drives on the road uh, to get to my destination. Because you're most likely you're not going to be able to just go and land at a restaurant of your choice. There's there's most likely going to be certain regulations that you have to be, you know, these are designated landing areas, and you'll have to be able to get from there to wherever you want to go. Uh, so that's, and again, this may sound all crazy and stuff, but we have the technology right now, today, to make these things. To make these things. The technology is there. Our ability to produce the machinery is there. Everything we need to make aerial vehicles that can fly us wherever and then sit down on a road and drive us to our final destination. The technology is already there. We already have it. We already have it. It's just a case of putting it together. So, okay. All right. I think I'm going to stop this one here, and then I'll pick up here in a minute with a new one.